Adolf Hitler's death in April 1945 remains one of the most controversial topics in modern history. The official narrative states that he took his own life in his Berlin bunker as the Soviet army closed in. However, in this video, we will explore how numerous conspiracy theories have challenged this version of events, suggesting that Hitler may have escaped and lived in secrecy for years. At the center of this historical debate lies decades of speculation, with some claiming that Hitler fled to South America, Antarctica, or even beyond. The question remains, what really happened to Adolf Hitler? Let's dive in and uncover the truth. As World War II came to a devastating end in Europe, the once powerful Nazi regime was crumbling. Hitler, having refused to leave Berlin, took refuge in his underground bunker, the Führer bunker, alongside his closest associates, including his longtime companion Eva Braun. The city was under siege by Soviet forces, and German defenses were rapidly collapsing. By April 30th, 1945, Hitler had accepted that there was no way out. He allegedly dictated his last political testament, blaming the war on the Jews and ordering that his body be burned to prevent it from becoming a Soviet trophy. That afternoon, Hitler and Eva Braun reportedly committed suicide, Hitler by gunshot, Braun by ingesting cyanide. Their bodies were carried outside, doused in gasoline, and set on fire by his aides, following his strict orders. When Soviet forces arrived at the bunker on May 2nd, 1945, they claimed to have discovered remains they identified as belonging to Hitler and Braun. These remains were taken to Moscow, where they were reportedly examined, stored, and later destroyed on Stalin's orders. However, the lack of transparency surrounding the evidence led to speculation, particularly when the Soviets initially refused to confirm Hitler's death. Despite the official account, many were unconvinced that Hitler had truly died in the bunker. Joseph Stalin himself suggested to Western leaders that Hitler may have escaped, fueling the rumors further. Even General Dwight D. Eisenhower reportedly stated in 1945 that there was no absolute proof of Hitler's death. The fact that Hitler's body was never publicly displayed added to the uncertainty. Decades later, Russian officials revealed that they had preserved a skull fragment they claimed was Hitler's. However, in 2009, American scientists conducted DNA tests on the skull and concluded that it belonged to a woman under 40 years old, not Hitler. This revelation reignited speculation that the Soviets either never found Hitler's body or intentionally misled the world. One of the most popular theories suggests that Hitler did not die in Berlin, but instead escaped to South America, particularly Argentina. This theory gained traction due to the well-documented escape routes, known as the Ratlins, which high-ranking Nazi officials used to flee Europe. Many Nazis successfully made it to South America, including Adolf Eichmann, captured in Argentina in 1960, and Joseph Mengele, who lived in Brazil until his death. If they could escape, why not Hitler? Declassified FBI documents from the 1940s and 1950s show that the U.S. government received multiple reports of Hitler sightings in Argentina. While these reports were never confirmed, they described Hitler living in a remote compound in the Andes Mountains. Some accounts claimed he had undergone facial surgery to change his appearance. Argentine journalist Abel Busti has extensively written about Hitler's alleged life in Argentina. According to Busti, Hitler lived in Bariloche, a region known for housing former Nazis, and died there in the 1960s. His books present testimonies from people who claim to have seen Hitler in the area. While mainstream historians dismiss Busti's claims as speculative, the presence of many high-ranking Nazis in Argentina gives the theory some credibility. Further fueling speculation, U-boat U-530, a German submarine, mysteriously appeared in Argentina months after the war ended. Its crew surrendered to Argentine authorities, but the reason for their late arrival remains unclear. Conspiracy theorists argue that U-530 might have been involved in smuggling Hitler or other top Nazis to safety. A more extreme theory suggests that Hitler did not escape to Argentina, but instead fled to Antarctica. This belief is rooted in reports that the Nazis had an underground base in Antarctica, referred to as Base 211. During World War II, Germany launched an expedition to Antarctica in 1938-39, mapping parts of the region and allegedly claiming land for the Third Reich. Some believe that the Nazis built a hidden base there, where Hitler was later evacuated. Adding to the intrigue, in 1946-47, the U.S. launched Operation High Jump, a massive naval operation in Antarctica. Officially, the mission was meant to test military equipment in cold climates. However, conspiracy theorists argue that the real objective was to destroy the rumored Nazi base. Some even claim that the US forces encountered advanced Nazi technology, possibly UFO-like aircraft, which forced them to retreat. While no concrete evidence supports the Antarctica escape theory, it remains popular among conspiracy enthusiasts who believe the Nazis had access to advanced, secret technology. Another theory suggests that Hitler escaped to Spain, a country that remained neutral during World War II but was led by Francisco Franco, a dictator with Nazi sympathies. The theory proposes that Hitler was smuggled into Spain with Franco's help and later moved to South America. Supporters of this theory cite Otto Skorzeny, one of Hitler's top commandos, who had strong connections in Spain. Skorzeny was known for orchestrating daring missions, including the rescue of Mussolini. If anyone could have arranged Hitler's escape, it was him. Among the most outlandish theories is the idea that Hitler was taken to the moon or a secret underground civilization. Some conspiracy theorists believe the Nazis had advanced space technology and that Hitler fled to a hidden lunar base. This theory is often linked to the Nazi UFO myth, which claims the Third Reich developed anti-gravity spacecraft. While these ideas are more science fiction than reality, they highlight the extent to which Hitler's fate has captured the imagination of conspiracy theorists. Despite the endless speculation, most credible historians agree that Hitler died in the Führer bunker on April 30, 1945. His closest associates, including his secretary Traudl Junge and other bunker survivors, testified that they saw his lifeless body. The sheer logistics of an escape seem highly improbable, given that Berlin was completely surrounded by Soviet forces. While the mystery of Hitler's remains controversial, the most logical explanation is that Soviet secrecy and Cold War tensions led to confusion. Stalin may have intentionally fueled conspiracy theories to keep Western nations uncertain about Hitler's fate. There are several reasons why Hitler escape theories refuse to die. The lack of a public body. Unlike Mussolini, whose body was displayed publicly, Hitler's corpse was never shown, leading to doubt. The Soviet cover-up. The Soviets were secretive about what they found in Berlin, adding to suspicions. Nazi escapes to South America. Since many high-ranking Nazis successfully fled, it makes the idea of Hitler's escape seem possible. The human fascination with conspiracies. People love a mystery, and the idea that Hitler escaped fuels the imagination. But one thing is certain, the Nazi regime collapsed, and Hitler's empire was reduced to ashes. No matter where his final moments took place, his so-called thousand-year Reich ended in flames. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into history's greatest secrets. See you in the next one.